Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you all how to create the foot controllers, and then also I'm going to show you how we are going to set it all up and connect all the connections and fun stuff like that. So we're going to start again, just create primitives, uh, NURBS primitives, and circle. And now I'm going to just bring this down here somewhere to the bottom of the foot, and I'm just going to scale it until I kind of get a size that works pretty well. And I mean, something like this is it's really totally fine. I like to just manipulate it a little bit, going into my control vertex, and let me turn symmetry off, and just kind of maneuver it so it kind of looks like a foot. I just think it's a little bit more fun. Something like so, and then something like that'll work. Maybe bring that out a little bit and bring this one out a little bit. You know, just something that kind of resembles a foot a little bit. Anyway, I just think it's a little bit more interesting. Anyway, so there is my, this will be my L foot CTRL, and then I'm going to do a modify freeze transformations, and I'm going to set my pivot point to the center, Control D to duplicate, and scale it at -1. And it doesn't look like I had that right, so let's do that one more time. And let's turn the grid on just so I can see. I was 1 off. Control D, scale at -1, and now it should be perfect. Modify freeze transformations, and this one will be R foot CTRL. Okay. Now, this is a little bit tricky. So I think I've got all my. That's good. Okay. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to go layer, create layer from selected, and just call this reverse foot JNT layer, and click save. Alright, so now I can just toggle this on and off as I need to. So for right now, I'm going to toggle it off, and I'm going to just change the color. Let's just say red, so you can really easily see it. And I'm going to turn it off for now. Now the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to turn the grid off, is I'm going to go to skeleton, and I'm going to go to create IKE handle, and I'm going to click this little settings box, and I'm going to click on sticky, and it's going to be RPS, rotate plane solver, and that should be good. And I'm going to start at the left hip, and then I'm going to click down here at the left ankle, and I don't have to rename these. And another thing is if your IK handle is really small and not showing, under display and animation, you can do IK handle size, and let's make it like 10. Okay, 10 works better. So LIK ankle handle. Alright, I'm going to create another one. LIK ball toe handle. And I'm going to create one more from the ball toe to the toe, and this will be LIK toe handle. Alright, so I'm going to do that again on this side. I'm going to go ahead and create IKE Handles. So from the hip to the ankle, just click once, IKE ankle handle. Then I'm going to create another one from this ankle to the ball toe, IKE ball toe handle. And I'm going to create one more from the ball toe to the toe, and this will be IKE toe handle. Alright, now I'm going to turn on my reverse foot joints, and if you did a good enough job placing these earlier, that's awesome. But what I'm going to show you is, and I'm even going to turn the base mesh off for now. I'm going to select the reverse joint handle on the ball toe. I'm going to hold D and I'm going to hold V, and I'm going to snap it right to the regular ball toe handle. And I'm going to do that for each one of these. The toe, I'm going to just hold D and V. This way it doesn't affect any of my other joints. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit just the reverse one, so you'll know if you select the red one, you're on the reverse one. And I'm going to do that for both sides. You could mirror it. You could delete the right one, reverse, and mirror it, but I know that these are already done. I think it'll just be faster if I do it this way at this point. Okay. Alright, so now I've got my reverse foot handles, or reverse foot joints, excuse me, snapped directly on it. So the next thing I need to do, and this is kind of where it gets a little tricky, but because if I turn off the visibility, oh, it does work perfect. So my upper body joints, this is actually, I could rename this at this point to character joints, save. And this is actually can get tricky, but just follow along with me. So in order to do this, I'm just going to hide this character joints, and if you don't already have a layer for it, just select the layer here, preferably before you create the IK handles, preferably. If not, it should be fine, but otherwise, I'm just saying that because that's how this one was done. But anyway, you can just go ahead and hide these joints. So the joints will just disappear. Right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this LIK handle, I'm going to shift select the ankle and press P. I'm going to do the same thing at the ball toe, and let's just say I did have this one on. I just need to make sure that I'm selecting the reverse ball toe. So LIK toe handle to, and in this case I'm going to turn that off, to this one. And I'm going to just parent these. And if you do have it, you just got to make sure it says on the second click R reverse handle, and then just press P to parent. So again, select this one, and this is why the color actually helps a lot. Select that one, make sure it's the right name, and then last but not least, right here, P. So now that I've created all of my IK handles and my foot controllers, I want to come back to my foot controllers, and I want to start to create some of the attributes that I'm going to need for this. And before I do anything, at this point, do edit, delete all by type, non-deformer history. And this should technically, perfect. So at this point, if you do an edit, delete all by type history, there's a good chance you break the rig. And it didn't, but just in case, make sure you're doing delete non-deformer history. Okay, and you can see now that my feet are planted as I move this up and down, which is really, really nice. So we really get a lot of cool stuff going on with it. So now that I got my left foot control here, I'm going to go to modify and add attribute. And I'm going to start by typing in, let's say L foot. And this one's going to be displayable, and we'll go 0 and 0 and add. And then the next one will be L ball raise. No minimum or maximum on this yet. Click add. L heel raise. Add. L heel pivot. Add. And L bank. Add. Now I'm going to do L toe, make this one displayable, and 0 and 0, add. And then I'm going to do L toe raise, add, and L toe pivot, and add. And then I'm going to close that. Do the same thing on this side. Modify, add attribute. So this is going to be R foot, displayable, 0 and 0, add. Then we're going to do R ball raise, add. R heel raise, add. R heel pivot, add. And R bank, add. Then we do R toe, displayable, 0 and 0, add. And now we're going to do R toe raise and R toe pivot. Okay, so now I've got all the controllers that I need for this, and the attributes that I need for it. Now I need to go ahead and start to manipulate this in a way that I can use it. So basically what we've done is we've really set this up really nicely, and actually modify center pivot and do that for both of these. Make sure you center the pivot one more time. Okay, so now what I have for this foot control is I'm going to now start to go to modify, or I'm sorry, display. Oh, I'm sorry, Windows, General Editors, and Connection Editor. Connection Editor. So we just did this with the fingers, so now we're going to be doing it with the feet. So on my left foot control, I'm going to go to the heel first. It's just the first joint I see here. I'm going to do reload right, and on L heel raise, I'm going to rotate this up. You'll see it's rotate Z. So L heel raise, make sure you're on that. Rotate, scroll down to rotate, and we're going to rotate Z. Alright. Now the next thing we're going to do is we'll do L heel pivot, and we'll do rotate Y, because that's going to be the rotate for that one. So let's go ahead and double check this. If I do L heel raise, middle mouse button click, and drag, the heel raises. And if I do pivot, the heel pivots. Perfect. So now let's go to the ball, and here let's do reload right and rotate, and I believe this is rotate Z as well. Now let's double check it. L ball raise. Perfect. And this is a great controller to have for doing walk cycles. Okay. And last but not least, we're going to come back to the bank later. That one's a little trickier. That one you're actually going to learn something new. So we'll go to the heel, or the L toe raise, excuse me, and we're selecting off of the reverse joints. Reload right, rotate, and I believe this one's going to be rotate Z also. And on pivot, we're going to do rotate Y, and just double check that. Now you'll see my toe raises and my toe pivots. Alright, we're going to do this side now. Reload left. We're going to select the reverse heel joint. Oh, so reload left and then reload right. We'll go R heel raise. We know this one is rotate Z. Heel pivot is rotate Y. We'll select the reverse ball joint on the reverse, the reverse foot ball joint here. And under ball raise and reload right, we know this is going to be rotate Z. And now here, I selected the wrong one. Selected the wrong one again. Reload right. On toe, toe raise is rotate Z, and toe pivot is rotate Y. Okay. So, now that we've got that all said and done, let's double check that it all works right. So let's select the foot controller, R ball raise, perfect. Heel raise, perfect. Pivot, perfect. The bank we'll come back to. Toe raise and toe pivot. Perfect. It all works exactly how it's supposed to do. Now comes the little tricky part. So now that this whole little process is technical, but it is extremely worth it because the feet are so important to animate properly, so we don't get sliding feet, ice skating feet, whatever you want to call it, and you just get a lot of good animation out of it. So, and you'll notice that the knee raises as well. All right. So, in fact, I'm actually going to save the bank controller for the next video. I'm going to do this in a series of a couple. So, anyway, what we did, if you need to go back through it, is you create an IKE handle with, I'm just going to run over it really quickly. Under skeleton, create IKE handle. You can click the settings and then just make sure that you have sticky enabled. And then the first one goes from the hip to the ankle, then the ankle to the ball toe, and the ball toe to the toe. So you'll have 3 altogether on those. We also then snapped the, and let me hide the character joints. We snapped the ankle joint, the ball toe joint, and the toe joint directly on top of the previous joints. If you're struggling doing that, just try to get it as close as you can. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but it definitely does help. Then, once we had that done, we parented each IK handle that we created on the original one. We didn't have this one showing yet, right? So on the original, we took the original IK handle and parented it to the reverse joints in the according places, the ankle, ball toe, and toe. And then we did it to the other side, and we created the controllers we created the attributes we needed for it over here, and then we connected them all using the connection editor. The only thing we haven't done yet is the bank, and I'm going to do that in the next video because I do think that one's a little bit tricky. However, I think the feet are probably the trickiest of this section, but it is really, really great to be able to use. So anyway, message me right away if you have any questions, first of all. And second of all, don't hesitate to ask me any questions because I know some students do get confused with this particular topic because it is a little bit more on the technical side. But other than that, I don't have anything else to show you in this particular video. I'm going to show you how to connect the bank in the next video. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And once we finish the bank, we're actually going to be able to take this toe, or this foot control, and we're going to be able to lift it up and down and get the character's leg all working. But I want to make sure we get the foot controls down first. So anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching. Message me for any questions or whatever, and I hope you enjoyed the video.